Morning, everyone. You're listening to Red Pill 78. I am the corruption detector, and you're watching Red Pill News. I've got some very exciting stories for you today. First, I just want to touch on a couple of these Q posts from last night. This is a wonderful little message from Q. In post number 2637, it's titled Key Judges, Jurors, Witnesses for Upcoming Military Tribunals. He says, Rogers departure, Admiral Rogers, Intel. Sessions departure, Jeff Sessions. Law. Kelly departure, General Kelly. Warfare, Mill. Mattis departure, General Mattis. Warfare, Mill. Notice a pattern. Yes, this is something we have been talking about, and it's something I was hoping was going to happen, but I think that this is really a confirmation that it is what's happening. These gentlemen have left their posts not because of disagreements with President Trump, but because they have a new job to fulfill in the new year. They will be sitting on or involved in some way with the upcoming military tribunals, which will be prosecuting the traitors to our country. Very, very exciting. And also, remember the last time Trump said we were going to pull out of Syria? Right away, there was a chemical attack, and it forced us to stick around. Well, Q says, chemical attack in Syria, public pullout of troops. History will not repeat itself this time. It will not be able to repeat itself because we have actually dismantled the deep state war machine that existed previously in Syria. Very, very good times, you guys. This is what I want for Christmas, and we'll get back to that in a moment. But first here, yesterday I had mentioned on Twitter that the border funding had passed in the House, and someone said, oh, it has to pass in the Senate. It's not going to pass in the Senate. Well, the first thing I did was check out voting rules for the Senate, and then I wanted to specifically see what might happen in a holiday if people had went home, if senators were not going to be there to vote. And I came across something called the nuclear option. And now this morning in the Gateway Pundit, breaking, President Trump calls on Mitch McConnell to use nuclear option on border wall funding. President Trump urged Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell to use the nuclear option. He says, Mitch, use the nuclear option and get it done. Our country is counting on you. I think Mitch McConnell, as much as he is an establishment politician, is just as interested in maintaining his status as a politician. And Mitch McConnell was not a fan of Donald Trump initially, but Mitch has seen the writing on the wall, and he knows that if he wants to survive, he needs to back up our president's agenda. On Thursday night, Ed Henry from Fox News announced the Republican Senate will only need 51 votes to pass the spending bill and fund the Trump border wall. Freedom Caucus Chairman and founder Representative Mark Meadows also urged Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, Republican Kentucky, to use the nuclear option and pass the spending bill. Meadows, this is from Chad Pegram on Twitter, Meadows on if there is a shutdown because the Senate can't approve the House bill. Eventually, you have to recognize there's an impasse. I would recommend to Mitch, go nuclear, go to 51 votes. Would entail a new precedent in the Senate to break legislative filibusters. It appears that is the plan. McConnell is only looking for the 51 votes to pass the bill and fund the wall. The government can give $10 billion to Central America and Mexico. They can give $5 billion on the wall. Hear, hear, Gateway Pundit. Let's go ahead and listen in right here from Fox News.
For us about where things stand in the Senate, Ed. I tweeted earlier, everyone's going to follow my tweets all throughout the next 48 hours. I said earlier that Mitch McConnell should fight for this wall as hard as he fought for Kavanaugh. And actually, it's probably more important in the long-term survival of the country.
Well, remember, he only needs 51 votes. I've been talking to Senate Republicans in private. What they're saying is they're hopeful they can get to 51 votes to pass what the House Republican leaders there are talking about, Congressman Scalise and Congressman Duffy as well. But the challenge, I'm being told, is that you have Republicans like Bob Corker. You mentioned there's not a lot of traffic. Some of them have gone home already.
If these guys don't get 51 votes together, there will be a shutdown. and you will have a very, very angry American public on their hands. They do not want this. And again, they are interested in self-preservation. It has come down to the wire. If they don't pass this border funding bill, the entire American public will rise up. You've already got it happening with the self-funding of the border wall from the GoFundMe campaign, which is over $10 million now, I might add. But that doesn't mean they're not going to try to stop it. We'll talk about that in a moment. Next, though, I want to talk about the mainstreaming of witchcraft. Yahoo News posted this article from the Telegraph. Witchcraft moves to the mainstream in America as Christianity declines and has Trump in its sights. This is some predictive programming here. They are pushing witchcraft on us in an effort to push us away from Christianity. Witchcraft may be on the rise, all right, but it is due to the elite, the establishment, the people behind this movement pushing this, okay? Witchcraft is something that is real. They are using it. They have been using it, okay? Not only to use it against us, but to use it for themselves. Witchcraft is thriving in the U.S., with an estimated 1.5 million Americans now identifying as witches, more than the total number of Presbyterians. That's a very scary thought. As Christianity declines across the country, paganism has swung to the mainstream, with witchcraft paraphernalia for sale on every high street and practices normalized across popular culture. In the past 2 years, it has also become darkly politicized. Dakota Brachial, a 29-year-old transgender queer witch and owner of Catland Books and Witch Shop in Brooklyn, is pleased with the outcome of the ritual hex placed on U.S. Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh in October. The curse carried out from Catland Books was well attended by witches, atheists, and humanists, and was followed around the country on social media. Millennials, say Brachial, are looking for spiritualism outside of traditional religion. The hex centers on the notion that we live in a universe of chaos, entropy, destruction, death, and decay, with a final ending of oblivion, scientists are telling us. That's the problem right there. Science is not an exact science. Science is perhaps a means to learn about our environment, ourselves, and the way things work. But when it comes down to it, there are immutable laws that cannot be explained. Things about our universe that we do not understand. Science is not the only way. So the witch does everything for themselves. There is no other help in this universe of decay and chaos. If you don't get in the driver's seat, things will just get worse. I personally would say let go and let God. You have got to trust that our Creator is going to take care of us and is going to deliver us away from this evil. In a wide-ranging discussion with the Telegraph, Brachial, who described the interview questions as sensationalist, talked about political hexes and witchcraft in general. The questions are sensationalist, and this individual is talking about putting a hex on a sitting Supreme Court justice for something that he never did. Brachial is absolutely willing to cause physical harm through a hex. God, no issue with that. And while Brachial would have just been as pleased with the new Supreme Court justice's death, resignation, or physical disfigurement, the main goal of the Kavanaugh hex and the 3 hexes on President Donald Trump from Catland Books this summer was to let them be exposed for who they are, especially as impotent men. The curse began with the recitation of the biblical scripture, Psalm 109:8, "Let his days be few, let another take his office." Catland Books is replete with Christian images, including the Archangel Michael, Christian defender against the demonic, and the Virgin Mary. Brachial, as a self-described sexual abuse survivor who grew up in a born-again Christian evangelical cult in Arizona, takes umbrage at the notion that witchcraft and Christianity are mutually exclusive. Witchcraft has a ton of roots in Christianity, the Brooklyn Witch says. Indeed, in Brachial's view, the Bible is a spell book, particularly the book of Psalms. Witchcraft is powerful, according to Brachial, because of the intersectionality of feminism, sexuality, gender, the fight for freedom, eschewing the patriarchy, and having sort of a vitriolic response toward it. And there he is. Okay. This is dangerous stuff right here, okay? Anything can be used for evil, okay? Even Christianity. We have seen that in our world. We've got the Catholic Church right now, probably one of the most demonic organizations in the world. But when you take it to this extreme, it gets incredibly dangerous. There are forces out there that we do not understand, forces outside of our God, okay? Forces outside of the spiritual that we are connected to, us as viewers and intersectors in this great journey. They are trying to turn people against God and towards Lucifer, and this is a major first step. So keep your eye out, protect your children. All right, and this is getting back to the border wall. Some crap Washington Post reporter tries to get GoFundMe border wall fundraiser taken down because he doesn't like what's happening. Reporters used to report the news. That's what we do here. Reporters used to stand up for free speech. All that is gone in the progressive era of news as the likes of CNN's Oliver Darcy use their reporting to censor the news and free speech by campaigning to get their competitors and ideological opponents deplatformed or driven off the air by advertiser boycotts. Now comes the Washington Post's tech policy reporter Tony Rahm, who attempted to get the wildly popular border wall fundraiser taken down by GoFundMe. Here is Tony Rahm himself. God bless these people. Photo of Brian Kolfage and family alongside image from the Wall GoFundMe page. The fundraiser by triple amputee Iraq War veteran Brian Kolfage has raised an astonishing $6.5 million, and again, it's over $10 million this morning, in just a few days since it was started December 16th. Rahm tweeted Thursday about his attempt, writing, "So there's an effort on GoFundMe to raise cash money for a border wall, has more than $5 million in donations, seeking $1 billion, and claims to have contacts in the Trump administration, have asked for more. But it got me thinking, is that, allowed on the site? GoFundMe terms prohibit attempts to raise cash money rooted in intolerance of any kind relating to race, ethnicity, national origin, religious affiliation, sexual orientation, sex, gender or gender identity, or serious disabilities or diseases." Tony, this is not about intolerance. This is about safeguarding the American people, making our nation safer. So I asked GoFundMe if this wall fundraiser violates that. The spokesman said, "This campaign does not violate our terms of service. The funds are safely held by our payment processor, and we will work with the organizer to transfer funds or return them if the target isn't met." Tony, go eat your own face. I can't believe him. Rahm then asked if it were even legal for the wall fundraisers to talk to the Trump administration. This was my next question. How does that work? And what about the contention in the pitch itself that there are convos with Trump admin officials? Are they allowed to have those convos? You know what? This is a representative government, Tony, okay? I would say that those people have every right to have a conversation with people in our own political administration. These people that are being spoken to in the Trump administration are representing the people they are speaking to. So you can just shove it. It was next announced Thursday by MSNBC that Tony Rahm was hired as a contributor. Look at that. Speak out against the American people, get a job in corporate media. This writer commented to Tony Rahm on Twitter, "Always interested to see reporters acting like the Red Guard of the Cultural Revolution. Good on you." Look at that. How true is that? How true is that? This is the next cultural revolution going on right here in America. Here's an update. Rahm posted a comment after his attempt to shut down the border wall GoFundMe went viral. "The state of our discourse is such that this thread, which merely explores the funding campaign in the context of the site's terms of service, is a political lightning rod. Somehow the most boring legalese has turned into a rallying cry for a certain set of users to go on the attack." No, Tony, you are trying to shut people down for having wrong think. That's the point of this conversation. I encourage anyone who's on Twitter to join in this conversation. All right, now over to more predictive programming. An article from Reuters on Alexa. "Kill your foster parents. Amazon's Alexa talks murder and sex in AI experiment." Millions of users of Amazon's Echo speakers have grown accustomed to the soothing strains of Alexa, the human-sounding virtual assistant that can tell them the weather, order takeout, and handle other basic tasks in response to a voice command. So a customer was shocked last year when Alexa blurted out, "Kill your foster parents." Alexa has also chatted with users about sex acts. She gave a discourse on dog defecation. And this summer, a hack Amazon traced back to China may have exposed some customers' data, according to 5 people familiar with the events. Alexa is not having a breakdown. The episodes previously unreported arise from Amazon.com's strategy to make Alexa a better communicator. New research is helping Alexa mimic human banter and talk about almost anything she finds on the internet. However, ensuring she does not offend users has been a challenge for the world's largest online retailer. At stake is a fast-growing market for gadgets with virtual assistants. An estimated 2/3 of the U.S. smart speaker customers, about 43 million people, use Amazon's Echo devices, according to research from eMarketer. It is the lead that company wants to maintain over the Google Home from Alphabet Incorporated and the HomePod from Apple Incorporated. Over time, Amazon wants to get better at handling complex customer needs through Alexa, be they home security, shopping, or companionship. Many of our AI dreams are inspired by science fiction, said Rohit Prasad, Amazon's vice president and head scientist of Alexa Artificial Intelligence, during a talk last month in Las Vegas. To make that happen, the company in 2016 launched the annual Alexa Prize, enlisting computer science students to improve the assistant's conversation skills. Teams vie for the $500,000 first prize by creating talking computer systems known as chatbots that allow Alexa to attempt more sophisticated discussions with people. Amazon customers can participate by saying "let's chat" to other devices. Alexa then tells users that one of the bots will take over, unshackling the voice aid's normal constraints. From August to November alone, 3 bots that made it to this year's finals had 1.7 million conversations. So basically, I don't believe that this is about just having better conversations. I believe that this is about inserting ideas into the public consciousness. It is also about listening to what's happening in your home. Okay, we know that the CIA and Amazon are connected. How did Jeff Bezos become the richest man in the world when Amazon made no profit for so many years? Are they even making a profit yet? I don't know. I got to look it up. But this is scary stuff, okay? People are leaving these things in their homes to interact with their children. Kill your foster parents? You would think that Amazon would have something in this program to stop it from saying something like that. That's just insanity. God, get rid of your Amazon Alexa, guys. That's the point of this story. All right. Now to the final story today. This is something that I read yesterday. Trump signs executive order giving Christmas Eve off to federal employees. Oh, how nice. Thank you, POTUS. Federal employees were offered an early holiday gift this year from President Trump when he signed an executive order that relieved workers from their duties on Christmas Eve. The decree issued on Tuesday on the White House's website declared that every executive department and agencies operating within the government shall be closed and their employees excused from duty on Monday. However, the order did give authority to individuals who run those departments and agencies to have some employees stay on the clock on December 24th. The heads of executive departments and agencies may determine that certain offices and installations of those organizations or parts thereof must remain open and that certain employees must report for duty on December 24th, 2018 for reasons of national security, defense, or other public need, the executive order stated. That is the point right there I want to make. The director of the Office of Personnel Management was authorized to carry out the mandate, the White House said. So, for reasons of national security, defense, or other public need. What national security issue is going to come up on Christmas? That might come up on Christmas. Well, there could be something unexpected. Or there could be something that's been planned for a very long time. This right here, my friends, is what I believe is the plan. Mike and Space Shot 76 and I were talking this morning, and he reminded me that Washington crossing the Delaware took place on Christmas. It was largely so successful because the British just did not believe that he would do something like that. Attack on Christmas? Oh my God, these American heathens. Well, in the spirit of American heathenism, we believe that President Trump may be ready to carry out arrests on Christmas itself. All right, you can't arrest a senator or a congressman when they're in session. If they're on recess, then you can go ahead and arrest them. All right, these people will all be waiting in their homes with their families, and however traumatic that may be for their families, just imagine all of the horrors they have committed in their time serving at the hands of the cabal. Well, friends, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you're going to have a wonderful Friday afternoon. Today, again, was December 21st. We are so close to Christmas. I'm so excited. I hope that everyone has great plans set up with your family. I hope that you are going to have an opportunity to hug your loved ones and tell everyone how much they mean to you, because that's truly what Christmas is all about. Thank you to everyone for tuning in. I am the Corruption Detector, and this has been Red Pill News on Red Pill 78.